Hello everyone, I'm back. Oh, this is a nervous laughter. Holy shit. It's very weird coming back here after, 1.5 year of what is essentially ghosting you guys. I am so sorry. I think that is the first thing I should say, is I'm sorry for disappearing for so long without any trace of an explanation whatsoever. I didn't realise I'd be gone for this long. I don't even know how long it's been exactly. That's how bad it is. But what I can tell you is that really, time flies when you're having an absolutely shit time. So, what's been going on with me? Why have I disappeared off the face of YouTube for so long without even saying anything? Well, what's been going on? It's 2020, I think we all know how it's been going. Remember the days where 2016 was considered to be like the worst possible year, and now it's just like 2020 and we're just like, oh wow, never mind then. We're in the middle of a pandemic, the world is going to shit. I'm back at my parents' home after, finally getting used to living alone and actually managing to somewhat get my shit together. That's a lie, I never got my shit together. But anyway, I'm back in my parents' home because I was living alone for the past, 2 years. I look different, my hair is different. So I think I had my quarter life crisis a couple years early. I turned 21 the other day, so yeah, kind of chopped all my hair off and called it a day. It's not just that, it's actually a little bit deeper, I'll get into it. Why haven't I posted? I haven't been reading, is one reason. First of all, I haven't really been reading at all. I have been reading a bit, but not enough to justify making any videos about it whatsoever. I am going to make a video about it soon with, all the books that I've read, while I've been gone. That's enough for one video, just to give you an idea. My reading is enough for one video. It's been, a year and a half? Holy shit. What? I haven't really been reading, so I didn't feel like I could come on here and talk about it. It was just, sometimes there were these random moments where I was like, oh shit, this would be a cool video topic. And then I was like, oh wait, Barbara, you're a booktuber, so you can't do that. I did post on my community tab, hey guys, I'm making my comeback. If anyone's left, you can ask me questions and I will be sure to answer them. And to my massive surprise, there were actually some people left here, which if you are one of them, thank you so much. I wish I could really express how grateful I am, because I didn't think anyone would be left, honestly, because I would have fucked off. Had I been a viewer, are you kidding? I would have unsubscribed so long ago. So that is one thing. I haven't really been reading. The second thing is that I started living alone. I went to university and it was a bad thing for me. It really was. I mean, no, it wasn't really a bad thing. It's something that had to happen, but it's something that I handled very, very poorly. There were a lot of things that I didn't do when I was living with my parents, and I started doing, or did more of when I started living alone. And I had to handle my coursework, which now that I look back on it, at my old uni, because I did change unis as well. There's a lot has happened, honestly. It was a piece of cake now that I look back on it, but at the time I was like, oh my god, university? What the fuck? That is so difficult. The major thing that has completely gotten out of control when I started living alone was... am I gonna say it? Yeah, I'm gonna say it, whatever. I mean, fuck it. At this point, I am very, very bulimic, and it might sound a bit strange to be like, oh guys, I've fucked off for 2 years because I have bulimia, but I don't think people realise how much of a bitch it is unless they experience it for themselves. I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't think it's important, but my eating disorder is really a bitch to deal with. It really is. I already had a pretty bad eating disorder. I've been struggling with eating disorders since I was about 12, so it's not a recent thing. But it just got so much worse when I started living alone because I didn't have to pretend that everything was fine. Yeah, so it's a bitch. Bulimia is a fucking bitch, especially when you start living alone and you don't have to hide anything anymore. And it got to the point where I was like, wow, I don't have to stop at purging dinner. So I would go out, buy a fuck ton of food. I would spend all my money on binge food. If you guys have ever experienced bulimia, you will know how much of a time-consuming, fucking expensive habit it is. So I would, for multiple hours a day, several times a week, binge and purge, and then do it all again, several times a day. So for me, the way it works is I either have excellent days or shitty days. There's no in between. So especially at that time, there would be either days where I would spend 8 hours straight binging and purging without breaks, or I would just be super productive, get all my work done, pull all-nighters, do fucking amazing as far as school is concerned, and then knock myself out with melatonin or alcohol, or, you know, both, like, to get some sleep once I had finished that exam or given that presentation. So I wasn't living the healthiest lifestyle, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, something has to give. I'm not reading anymore, so I don't have any content to make. There's only so many YA rants that you can make. You know, I need to focus on my health and study, and that is exactly what I did. And honestly, I didn't think I would be gone for this long. I really didn't. I thought I would be gone for maybe 4 or 5 months. Because, okay, look, because it's me, I thought I would be gone 6 months. And then I would come back. 6 months down the line, I tried to get better in terms of my eating disorder, and it hasn't worked. I have lost a tooth. I am losing my hair as we speak. That's what I mentioned earlier about the hair. In my last video that I posted, I had this really, really long hair. So I dyed it black and it was really long and nice. Yeah, those are all extensions. Don't kid yourself. Right now, this is my hair. I had to cut it because if it's any longer, it falls the fuck out. So I've lost my hair, I've lost teeth, I've lost skin quality, I guess. Like, you can't see because, you know, lighting and shit, but my skin here is absolutely dreadful. I have this sore here, like in the corner of my lip. That won't fuck off because I spend my life with my head down the toilet. Not so much anymore, but yeah, no, I have this sore here that generally tends to be quite persistent. Oh, and you want to know the best part? I also gained an obscene amount of weight, when that is literally the thing I try to avoid at all costs. I got fat, and I got so disgusted in myself that I was like, there is no way that I'm coming back to YouTube looking the way I do now. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose this weight and I'm gonna come back to YouTube, and spoiler alert, did I lose it? Of course the fuck not. I stayed fat. In fact, I gained even more weight, but that's besides the point. Point is, I am doing better now, even though I'm still fucking raving bulimic who has no control over her life whatsoever. I am doing better, and I'm doing well enough to actually come on here knowing how I look and knowing that people are gonna notice how fat I am. I mean, if it can make you feel any better, like, you guys aren't the only one who didn't see much of me in that time. Like, I didn't see my friends. Kind of fucked off my parents as well, if I'm honest. My eating disorder really did also ruin my relationship with my parents. I mean, not ruin it, because I still consider myself to have quite a good relationship with my parents, but it's made it not as good as it could have been. You know, it's had a toll on my hobbies because, you know, it takes time to binge and purge. It really does. Okay, anyway, moving on. I've already gone. You know what? Okay, bulimia. This is one of the reasons I don't want to get into it any more than I have to. If you are a potential employer watching this, just tell yourself that I have succeeded in passing 90% of all of my exams, despite an out-of-control eating disorder. So imagine how productive I'm going to be once I get over this shit, okay? Don't consider not employing me just because I've chatted shit about my eating disorder. Moving on. What else has changed? I changed my field of studies. So when I first entered university, I went to a very, very well-known university in Paris. And I think one of the main reasons I went to that university was because of the name of the university. Not gonna lie to you. It is a very well-known university with a good reputation, and I was like, with a diploma from that uni, I can go anywhere. It turns out that fucking diploma from that place is worth nothing. Yeah, so what I was doing was this kind of multi-course where you do philosophy, literature and history, and also Greek and Latin, and you also do it in French and English. So it was like a pretty prestigious course with quite a bit of work. But honestly, the quality of the coursework was not that good, and I kind of decided to change after a while, so I did. And after I made the decision of changing my university degree, because in France, which is where I study, university is free. So if you want to change because you're getting sick of your studies, like that, it's done. You know, you pay the application fee at the beginning of the year, and then you don't have to spend a single penny more. So yeah, I made this decision in May to change my course of studies, and I was already feeling a lot better. And I don't know why. I decided to change, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm still going to try and pass all my exams, and I did quite well, and it wasn't too difficult. It was obviously a lot harder than high school, but I did alright without putting in an insane amount of work. And then it was summer 2019, and I had a really good summer. I came back to Paris after it feeling refreshed. I was like, okay, this is going to be a new start, a new university, a new flat, because I moved as well. Because first of all, moving doesn't faze me. I've moved my entire life from country to country to country, so, you know, moving from one apartment to another in the same city really did not mean shit to me. But if any of you know how expensive it is to live in Paris, I was not about to, you know, spend the summer in Croatia, which is where I work in the summer, because I'm half Croatian, if you didn't know. Spend 2-3 months there, however long, and pay rent in an apartment in Paris where I'm not going to be living. You have to be out of your mind if you think I'm going to do that. Can't do that, because all my money went on like crisps and chocolate that I proceeded to puke up afterwards. Anyway, so yeah, that was one thing. I moved, so I had a new apartment, I had new studies, new friends, because let's be real, that first year of university I was so busy binging and purging that I didn't really meet anyone. I was already doing quite well, and I was like, okay, think I'm ready to come back to YouTube. It's a really fun thing that I want to start doing again. But what I didn't see coming was the fact that I would become a good student. What? I don't think anyone saw that coming. But I started putting in 1,000,000% into academics, which was never the case. If you know me at all, you know that when I was in high school, I was the biggest piece of shit you could imagine. I was disrespectful towards the teachers when I was there because I barely ever went to class, barely made it through my finals in one piece. I mean, it was terrible. Came as a big shock to everyone, me included, to become like an actual decent student. And I started achieving very high marks in this university, which, by the way, now I am, seeing as I've changed studies, I'm now a major in Korean studies. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so I started achieving really high grades, doing really well, and in my university that I'm in now, it is no mean feat. Holy shit, like they try so hard to fail all the students. Moving on, I did well in a not easy university, without wanting to brag. But yeah, so I passed my first semester with flying colours, and then the pandemic happened. Actually, no. First, the fucking strikes happened. Did you guys hear about that? If you're anywhere in the vicinity of France, you might have heard of it. Public transport just straight up stopped working. I mean, I was already walking to university every day because, you know, it burns calories. So I wasn't too bothered walking every day for 1 hour. 1 hour there, 1 hour back. Strikes happened, so a lot of our exams kind of got fucked. At the time, we all thought it was the fucking worst shit ever. We were like, what? Our exams have been moved, but we thought it was on this day, and now we have to study again? And I was just like, oh, this is the worst thing to ever happen to me. And then fucking Corona happened, and then lockdown happened. And at first, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought Corona was a big joke. Don't anymore. But at the time I was like, oh, it's just the flu, blah blah blah. So I really wasn't like careful at all. I was still going to university every day, and then lockdown happened and I was like, this is ridiculous. I had to go back to my parents' home for lockdown because didn't want to stay in a 20 square meter apartment all on my own for 2 weeks, you know, when I thought it was going to be 2 weeks. And then it turned out to be 3.5 months, so yep. So lockdown happened, and what happened then? You would think it would have been alright. I was with my parents, I was, you know, having a good time. No. No. One good thing that came out of me going back to my parents was the fact that I just could not binge and purge as I wanted to anymore, which was an amazing thing. Not so amazing thing was that I gained a fuck ton of weight, but that's again besides the point. I started, you know, continuously gaining more weight, and that was also around the time where I wanted to come back to YouTube, so keep that in mind. What I would do, that was my day in the life of quarantine type shit, okay? So I would wake up every single morning at 6, even when I didn't have lessons. My lessons typically started at 9 online, so no need for that, absolutely no need for that. But I was really in this mindset of I need to be disciplined, so I'm gonna get up at 6 every day. I am not a morning person, and I don't mean this in a jokey way at all. I'm just not a morning person. I am really bad in the mornings. I need about 5 alarms to get me up. So I had alarms starting all the way from 5:15 to 6:15 kind of thing. I think I've like kind of, you know, evolved in a way that my brain will just ignore my first 3 alarms, and if I hear them, which is not very often, I just won't get up for it. I am such a heavy sleeper that most of the time I don't hear my alarm. I have been known to ask my parents to call me on days that I have exams to make sure that I'm up. That's how bad it is. But anyway, you know, knowing all of this, I would purposefully get up at 6 every day, study, do my lessons, eat, not purge because I was with my parents, study, eat, maybe go for a run if I was feeling particularly shit about myself, and then study again, and then I would go to sleep, and I would do this over and over again every day of quarantine. Again, passed my year so well, got great marks, whatever. So that happens, I get fat during lockdown, and then lockdown ends. What now? Well, what now is I unironically had the best summer of my life. I really did. I felt like I was in a coming-of-age movie, like, the entire time. I made so many new friends. Even though I kept going back to the same place for the past, 6 years, I met so many new people, forged so many meaningful friendships, and I just overall felt so much better about myself, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to you know, slowly get my shit together and start thinking about coming back to YouTube. Because another thing that I didn't mention is that in real life, at the time where I was very active on my YouTube channel, or as active as I could be, you know, I was not in real life the way I was in my videos. I really wasn't. It's not that I was putting on a character or, you know, creating a sort of personality that I didn't have, because it is my personality now, at least I can say. But at the time, it was really who I wanted to be, you know, this kind of like abrasive person, which I have always been, you know, kind of making, you know, cracking jokes and being a bit edgy, and, you know, that was always aspects of my personality that I valued, and I was like that with my really close friends, and that's what they liked about me. So, and that's also what I liked about me. So when I made YouTube videos, I was free to do that because I wasn't that shy when I was talking to just a camera, and I was able to literally just be myself unapologetically, as cringy as it sounds. But then, you know, with people in real life that I didn't know so well, I was so insecure, like so cripplingly insecure, that I wouldn't ever do that. And now that's changed completely. Ask anyone and I'm like the biggest extrovert you could ever imagine, which is so weird. But I think that's something I needed. I needed a good 2 years of socialising and getting drunk to finally feel better about myself. It's weird. And I also kind of, I did meet, I don't know if I want to get into this, but yeah, I did meet a few people from the YouTube community, both content creators and actually also a few subscribers as well. And I know for a fact that all of them that I've met without fail was so disappointed in me when they met me in real life, because they were just like, one of the viewers that I met actually told me, like, wow, Barbara, you are so different in real life. Like, you are not like you are in your videos. And I felt so bad about it. And, you know, come at me now and I am going to crack jokes, I am going to make people laugh, and I am going to be kind of the attention whore of the party, you know, where it's like, if not everyone is talking to me and is focused on me, then I go completely insane and get sad. But it wasn't like that at the time. I was really fucking insecure, and yeah, so that was one thing that kind of put me off. I was just like, what if they start telling people that they shouldn't watch my videos because I am fake or whatever? I think I've covered pretty much about everything of what's been happening, but now I will get into your questions, because some of you are still here and ask me the questions, because I don't know if I mentioned this already, because, you know, it's what, 12:30 at night and I'm a little bit sleep deprived and delirious. So yes, let's get on to the questions. I considered unsubscribing. Same. I would have unsubscribed for myself. Did I unsubscribe for myself? I don't know. Question is, why did you decide to come back? It was about fucking time. Pretty much. I knew I wanted to come back, and it was always something that I loved doing, and my decision to come back has pretty much come from me learning to manage my time better and just missing YouTube, honestly. I'm just like, okay, now I know that I can manage my time. I know I can do well in university. I know this, that and the other. I'm going to come back. I'm going to pick up my balls off the floor where I left them, and I'm going to come back to BookTube. Oh, I've missed you. I hope you're well. Well, thank you. I've missed you guys as well. I guess my question is, what have you been up to? Are you still in France? Well, you've pretty much heard what I've been up to. Am I still in France? Yeah, kinda. I mean, I still study in France. My university is still in France, but right now I am back in my parents' home for lockdown, which is in Brussels, which is trippy actually, because, you know, I've moved around a lot, and this house in Brussels is where I spent most of my life in. Not most of my life in, but most of my childhood in, if that makes sense. So, you know, just coming back from getting used to living alone to the house where you were a kid, it's wild. Hi, we've missed you. Thank you. I've missed you guys as well. Honestly, I have. So I just wanted to know how you've been. Like, really. Aww. That is really cute, Anna Paula. I appreciate that. Sorry to break it to you, but I've been doing really shit, but I am better now, objectively. Glad to have you back. Thank you. You guys are very sweet. I want to know how your reading taste changed throughout the years. Being absent from YouTube affecting your taste in books. Actually, yes. So like I mentioned, I haven't been reading that much, but what I have read has been mainly non-fiction, which is not something I used to read all that much of, apart from your usual North Korea related books. But yeah, no, it has. I've been reading mainly non-fiction. I am going to make a video about the books I've been reading while I've been away. So yeah, one recommendation that I can give you guys off the bat right now is Fragile Lives by Stephen Westaby, and also Knife's Edge by Stephen Westaby. He is amazing. He is a doctor who talks about, he's a heart surgeon who talks about his experiences as a doctor, and it's truly fantastic. Highly recommend it. Still here. Fucking appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, friend. Hello. Have you been reading anything during your absence? I've had a bit of a reading block myself until recently, when I finally finished reading the first book in basically over a year. Yikes. You have no idea how much I relate to you on that one. Yeah, so I'm going to, like I said, make a video about the books that I read while I was away. But yeah, I think we could say that I have not been a good reader recently at all. My question is, do you plan on being consistent on YouTube? Yes. Yes, I do. It's probably not going to be just books if I want to be consistent. Being real with you guys, like, I do want to come back and be consistent, but I'm going to have to talk about other shit as well because I don't have time to read all the time. If you guys would be interested, I was thinking about, you know, talking about language learning, which is something that I am passionate about. I did grow up in a multilingual environment and I am now learning a new language in university. Talking about kind of productivity tips when your life is going to shit, I think I could talk about that pretty good. Yeah, just talk generally about things that I'm passionate about, which would be languages and weirdly studying. Like, I've come to enjoy studying. Like, hello, is this me? I was the biggest piece of shit ever and now I'm just like, hi, so I'm going to link my new studygram. I don't have a studygram yet. Welcome back. Glad you're back. And how are you? Oh, thanks. Well, I'm alright. For now, at least. That is it for today. These were the questions. There were more than one, which is more than I expected. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here still. And I will be back before you know it with a new video. Alright? Okay. Bye!